Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla at us.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Welcome to GFT Radio Show. It is January 11th, 2021. Got a great show on deck. Everybody want to say what up?
Hey guys.
What's up, good people?
Hola.
All right. We are in the building. Looks like we got some viewers already. Welcome. Tonight's show, we're going to get right into it because I think we're going to need the whole hour and a half, if not more. We're going to be talking about chaos in the Capitol. As everybody knows, unless you're living under a serious big-ass rock, we had insurgents in the Capitol, in the U.S. Capitol earlier this week, or mid last week, rather. And
a bunch of animals.
A bunch
of animals.
Yes,
in the Capitol.
Bunch of domestic terrorists.
Good people on both sides.
We love them all. But yeah, so we had a lot of chaos and just mayhem. And, unfortunately, there were some powers that be that were involved. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be talking about the social media ban. We're also going to be talking about the aftermath. We're talking about impending impeachment conversations and other, things that are being thrown out there in order to basically rectify what happened. So I guess let's just get to it. I think we want to talk about a video that I found, and I want to play that video. We're going to play parts of it and jump in. Guys, feel free to throw your hands up if you want me to stop it, but I'm going to definitely stop at a couple of spots.
I think you should just play it through.
You think I should just play it through?
Yeah, just play it through, then we'll unpack it after the fact.
Okay, all right, no doubt. Well, I'll just play it. Give me a second. Let me just throw it up on here. Of course, I forgot where I put it.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black. But I'm not about to keep it brief. I'm just here to read these white motherfuckers at the Capitol in no particular order. It was the Kim Possible and the Ron Stoppable on the side of the building for me. You're mad. You're so mad because you finally see what the rest of us have been trying to tell you, that the longest standing and unchecked terroristic threat in America has been white supremacists. It be your own people. Let me tell you what these good old boys meant when they said, give me liberty or give me death. Give me the liberty to be sexist, racist, xenophobic, anti-queer, and anti-anybody that don't prescribe to my transatlantic version of Christianity or off with their heads. It's either their way or the highway, but it's documented in your words that all men are created equal under God. We didn't mean that for the blacks. So now when we are using a system that you created to obtain the rights you get to experience so freely, all of a sudden it's democracy. Throw the whole thing away. So I guess you thought it was your turn to make a political statement in the street. Sir, ma'am, especially you with your, we're storming the Capitol, it's a revolution. Girl, if you don't get your, do you want a revolution? Black people are in the streets protesting murder, oppression, suppression, a lack of basic human rights and equal protections under the law. And what were you showing your behinds for? Oh, to be able to murder black people in the name of self-defense, to oppress black people in the name of white supremacy, to suppress black votes in the name of white political power, and to have more protections under the law than black people in the name of white comfort. It was the noose for me. It's giving very much Civil War Confederacy vibes. Hey, the Confederacy was fighting for states' rights to own slaves. Next. A joke. An embarrassment. The crimes? Trespassing, destruction of government property, mail theft, that's a felony, entering restricted government property with a weapon, let it have been a brown man, and they brought bombs, death. Immediately, and it would have been called justice. It was the beating on the blue lives that mattered for me. I don't want to hear any comparisons about what black people did in the summer of 2020 to what happened on January 6, 2021. Because for one thing, black folks know not to go to somebody else's house and put their feet on the table. This was baseless insurrection, anarchy, terrorism, and treason. But here's the thing, don't get me wrong. Revolutions are a natural part of history. Rulers have been usurped. Governments have been overturned, but it's always been evident and it's always been criticized when power was seized just for the sake of transferring power. revolution has only been just and true when it's championing the oppressed. And let me tell you something, conservatives. You literally have lacked for nothing. It's in the name. Y'all conserving it for yourselves. Nothing has ever been denied to you. Your natural and civil rights have never been infringed upon. So much so that you don't even know the true definition of being oppressed, and any minor inconvenience or infringement upon your privilege would spark discontent, mayhem. White Christians. Y'all remember that scripture? One day the first shall be the last and the last shall be the first. The day has come and the girls are scared. I guess they didn't think it would come so soon. Oh, they've only been 400 years in power. You broke into a government building. Negroes could never. It was the police letting the gates open for me. And not only did you make it out alive, you made it home to see your children. Oh, but the Black Panthers stormed the California State Capitol in 1967 with their assault rifles. Yes, honey, and they were allowed to. Entering government buildings with weapons did not become illegal until 1995 after the Oklahoma City bombing. The most devastating act of domestic terrorism in U.S. history, by the way. And guess who did it? 2 white boys. Had this exact situation been flipped, and we would have been protesting the result, and mind you, we would not have been protesting because we lost. We would have been protesting because we knew it would have meant the continued empowerment of violent racism. It would have been a massacre, but you knew that. White supremacists treat America like a woman, a white woman specifically, something to be defended and honored beyond reproach, and whose honor needs to be protected by any means necessary. And can't nobody disrespect America and get away with it except white men. And Dr. Brittany Cooper took it a step further. She called Trump an abuser, but I call white supremacy the abuser. And we all know the most dangerous time for a woman in an abusive relationship is when she decides to leave. And because America is starting to leave white supremacy behind, white supremacy is acting up. The tea is hot today. He lost. You lost. It's over. You're done. Listen, come close. The chasm between rhetoric and reality obviously doesn't exist for you people. And the way y'all will walk down the steps kindly after your act of terrorism shows that you won't know the difference anytime soon. It was the guns being pointed directly at aggressive mobs who intended to cause harm but not being fired for me. And that's the thing. Black people don't wish death on you. As much as we should be able to, we don't. We just wish we would be treated the same way when we're fighting for our rights. I need a refill. So white liberals, don't think I forgot about you. This is your mess to clean up. We don't want to see any more black people cleaning up the mess of irresponsible, unhinged, racist white people. So unbuckle those cufflinks, take off those suit jackets from Macy's, kick off those so-cate Louboutins, and don't be afraid to get a run in your stockings. Put in some elbow grease and scrub that shit up yourself. Call them what they are, terrorists. Lock them up. We want federal charges and convictions for everybody, including Donald Trump.
Amen.
All right. So
can I get an amen?
Right, amen. So that was Laneze. She had a very convincing oration there. Definitely hit pretty much. I think she hit almost all the points that we want to talk about tonight, as well as gave us a nice, quick history lesson to definitely unjustify some of the measures that were taken and some of the atrocities that were allowed to happen. So I guess first things first, let's get to the group. Let's start with Smooth. That's cool. Your take, your feelings on what happened.
My feelings on, first of all, it wasn't like it wasn't no siege, it wasn't no march. That was a planned coup d'etat. It was an inside job as well. You feel me? Online I got an argument with a couple people because I mentioned the word treason.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, people don't want to use it. They want to say insurrection. All right, cool. But they were really literally trying to stop and overthrow the government.
Exactly.
Process of electing and certifying the brand new president-elect. They were literally trying to stop that. To me, that's the number one. Yeah, the definition of treason. You know what I mean? And they want to charge him with sedition. The one thing I did, and what I'm happy about the video, that she kept it on mostly, is the white supremacy part. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because that's what this is all about. Even on my Twitter, I mentioned, if that was black folk up there, they'll be shooting us down. But to me, that's still like a minor point in that big situation there. You feel me? To me, that was more about, white supremacy on show. You know what I mean? And the one thing I do disagree with her, where she said that it's on his way out. Like, people still got to remember, that man still broke records in the amount of people who voted for him.
True that.
You feel me? That man broke records for the amount of that's how that you know what I mean. Like we had to break records for Biden, or y'all did who voted for him, and for the people who voted for Trump, like y'all broke records. You feel me? So it's like that's still gonna be there whether he in office or not. To me, he just a mascot. You feel me? They using him as the front man to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? So if it all fell, like everybody was using everybody. You feel me? The Republican, everybody now you want to resign. Now you want to distance yourself from him when the whole time y'all was latching on to him, hoping he still win. You feel me? Most of these Republicans that's talking bad about him now, like I just heard Chris Christie. You feel me?
Wow.
Talking foul about it. You know what I mean? Talking about, you know what I mean? He don't want to be associated with him or what have you. But bro, you was just saying he won last week. So y'all still
there's a video of several supporters, Republican supporters or staff members, hours in between when they were supporting him and preaching what he was talking about to when they were blasting him and calling it red.
Exactly.
I think that was more so. I think the only reason, and this is my take on it, I feel like they were only upset once somebody got seriously hurt and died. Like once the first person that we know of died, even though she was on their side, it was more so of it's all good, but now it's a step further. Mm-hmm. It's all. See, y'all can do all this extra stuff, but I think it was more so of her death, because it's like y'all sat there with this man, and now somebody has passed on. Not even just her, multiple people now, and it's like now we look back because we were on his side.
See, Sonny, I don't even think it's her. I don't think it's her because they could have turned her into a martyr. You feel me? See, but what they couldn't defend was the cop getting killed.
Yeah.
They couldn't defend that. You feel me? Y'all been preaching all this blue lives
matter. Yeah.
Y'all people, the one that killed that cop. Right. You feel me? So y'all can't, you know what I mean? So they couldn't use that. That's why I said they could have used her as a martyr, even though she wasn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In my opinion. You feel me? You was trying to overthrow. Boom, you got shot.
They literally told her to stop. Everybody in the room and the people from the that was doing the shooting, they told her to stop. Everybody
told her to stop. You feel me?
She was like, nah, I'm gonna do that.
Nah, yeah, exactly. You got what you got. You get what you asked for. You feel me? So like, it is what it is with that. Yeah, but my thing is, it's deeper than Trump. To be like I said, I think Trump just the mascot for that. You feel me? Trump knew who his base was on the low. You know what I mean? Like he can't come out and say, no, I mean his base are mainly white supremacists or you know what I mean, racist people. He can't say that. You feel me? But he know, and he gotta speak that rhetoric to them. But all he is to them is a representative. You feel me? This is how they always felt. You know what I mean? It's nothing new. This is why my thing with them, we're gonna get into later about the complete fallout of everything, but after the Capitol. But as far as that go, like I don't think it was just no random thing. I think it was planned.
Well, it was. Well, you can see that it was planned because people had shirts with the date. Like if you've seen, like not even at the very beginning, but like the next couple of days after it, you've seen different images of people. They had shirts on with the day. Like you don't get that many shirts made in a day. Or like not even in a day, but like you don't get that stuff at that many that you can see made that quickly. Not unless somebody's sitting at home, because that takes time. I don't care what kind of t-shirt business you're in. That takes time to make as many shirts as we've been seeing. And it was, and for most images I saw, it was the same shirt. Mm-hmm. So y'all must have mass produced this and got it done a couple days in advance. The same way they're planning this event in Trenton. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a bunch of shirts made, and whatever happens then. But you know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. So in terms of the planning, I mean, the thing is that I know Trump made comments days ahead telling people come down, you know, meet up, all that kind of stuff. And
the police people knew about it.
When the certification was going to happen, that was a known date. And I believe that basically the whole idea of trying to stage this affront, it's already been done. Remember, they were doing this during the general election time. They were doing this days after the election when they were doing the certifications at the state level. They were doing this in the counts when they were doing all the counts. Aisha says that Trump basically just helped prove what we've been saying. He baited them and revealed themselves. So now we know who and what. No more hiding. So to an extent,
I think people still hiding.
The biggest part of it is like she just said, is the hiding, right? Like Smooth just said, these people have been looking for a mouthpiece. They've been looking for a representative, somebody who can speak to what they want to hear, as well as put out the type of image that they want portrayed. Some of the biggest things between being a bully, but then also trying to portray this act of being so strong and so manly that Trump always tried to put on. That's that misogynistic man-centric thing. They want this man's man in office. They want somebody who's going to show that the U.S. is so strong and so unstoppable, unbeatable, right? By all means, and to be able to talk that talk. So I think that the fact that they have all, just like as many Black people have been newly voting, a lot of these white nationalists, a lot of these undercover racists, a lot of these people who may not even be racist, they just may have this whole idea, this ideology that they want America to be a certain way, right? A lot of these people are new voters, or they may have voted in the past, but they haven't felt a need to vote because they don't want any of the parties in there. That was the one thing that stood out to me, was there was a lot of discussion or a lot of talk in some of the videos of those people who were doing the siege. And I'm going to speak on insurrection versus the treason part too. But the biggest thing is that they were talking about the fact that they didn't feel like any of the parties represented them. They felt like the Republicans and the Democrats were both at fault, or that were both in collusion to weaken the government or to weaken this country. So there was a lot of disagreement about who they were really supporting in terms of the party, but they all had one thing in common: Donald Trump. And if you think about it, Donald Trump was never a Republican. He's never, before being elected president, never sided with any particular party in full. So you're talking about a person who stood exactly for what these people wanted. They wanted somebody who had a mouthpiece that would allow them to do and say the things they wanted to say. They wanted somebody who would bully other countries, bully the people of the country, say, hey, this is for us, and we want this, what it used to be, and all that kind of stuff, as well as they wanted this man's man in office. So he was hitting all the check boxes. So I think that's the main thing that really, stood out for them, that made them do this. Yeah, I mean the building of the gallows. I'm pretty sure they already had that on deck. They in the backyard, just ready to go. Anytime the wrong person hit their neighborhood. And then Aisha says, "I like to know who I'm dealing with." So so. Well, we're gonna get to Aisha's comment, this comment later, when we start talking about the ban. We start talking about the social media ban. What up, though, Gem Animal?
Hello.
So getting back to insurrection versus treason, and I definitely agree, Smooth, with what you said earlier about you want to use the right words, right? And you want to call it what it is. Like, these are domestic terrorists. These are terrorists. Also, these are treasonous activities. So I looked it up to double check, because I was thinking the same thing. Like, why are we not calling this treason, or why are we not calling these treasonous acts?
Because it's white folk, and they ain't about to call them that, because
No, actually, there is a reason. There is a difference.
Death.
No, so it has to do with not only how you're acting, but who you're acting for. So if you talk about or incite people to try to take over the government, that's sedition. If you attempt to take over the government, you're either doing an insurrection or you're committing treason. The difference is that with an insurrection, you're doing it for the purpose of just taking down the government for the benefit of the people. But when you're doing treason, you're doing it either for, on behalf, or giving aid to a foreign government. So you have to be a whole separate government or part of, or doing it on behalf of a whole separate. Now, if you could prove that Russia was involved or China was involved, it becomes treason. But until then, because these are domestic terrorists, it's only insurrection. Still punishable as a felony and a federal crime, but it's not treason.
I don't know. That's watching the news the other day, and they were talking about how they wanted to use facial recognition to identify the people that were there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see with multiple interviews through different local and city news companies, people were giving their names and where they were from.
Yeah, true that.
Like, and I know that there's facial recognition software. Y'all can find who these people are.
Well, they've been arresting quite a few people. They have arrested quite a few people.
Yeah, they arrested quite a few people, over 100 people so far.
But they need to not only arrest them, but actually charge them and find guilty. Because it's one thing to arrest them; it's all that. Like it's almost like killing a black person. You can get arrested, but don't mean nothing gonna happen after that.
Yeah, see, but my thing with this situation is they're gonna make sure them people get charged. You feel me? Because now they're not affecting black people's image. They're affecting the country's image now.
Yeah, because now they let all these other people, all these other countries see
government's image. Yeah, so when that's affected, so now we're really looking foolish and simple-minded to the world. It's like, nah, we're gonna make sure all y'all get charged on this one, and we're gonna charge y'all harshly. They're gonna charge all of them harshly. They're not about to play with them. You know what I mean? They went too far this time. Homie in there with the zip ties. You feel me? Man down. Like he was ready. He had the camera mounted on his thing. Like he was ready to do damage in there. He was ready.
But they were in there fucking up property. They were in there. Yeah. They were in there messing up property, and then they were talking about how.
But what I mean, damage. I mean to the people.
Oh yeah.
Like they was ready. It was going off a couple of them if they could have. I guarantee
the fact that they got in there with weapons is crazy to me.
That's like some cops. That's another thing.
Was taking pictures with some of the people. They were doing all that.
A couple of them just got fired. A couple of them just got fired.
The Capitol Hill police officer, he resigned.
Yeah, two of them just got fired because the one that they got with the selfie, and another one he was actually directing the people where to go.
Right, because my thing is, forgot which news outlet I was looking at. You have the schematics for the building and the rooms, but when you get inside a new place, you don't know where to go. You don't know how these rooms and these hallways actually are. They were escorted. It was an inside job to show where some of these people reside at, where they work at. Like the guy who got in Nancy Pelosi's office, he's been arrested.
That motherfucker got a picture. He got an epic picture.
Right. What's my name? West Virginia guy. He's been. Oh my goodness. His name was Eric Muncho or something like that. The guy was carrying the zip ties for handcuffs.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been arrested on Nashville on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Adam Johnson, the guy who was carrying a podium.
Mm-hmm.
He
walking out with the podium. They got the picture. Yeah.
He got property, with public property. They're talking about big. Another one happening on the 17th, a couple of days before the inauguration. Then they're talking about the day of the inauguration, all the state capitol buildings and across the United States. Something big might be happening.
Mm-hmm. They was doing it during that one. It was a couple of state capitals that was raided at the same time. Well, that was
in a couple of days. And a couple of days ago, right after that, there was evidence of people protesting at the state capitol buildings in Kentucky, and I believe
Oregon.
Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the guy, Eric Muncho.
I
think that's how
What about the who's the guy? You probably already mentioned him. The guy that basically he's married to a black woman.
Oh, that's Ock. Yeah, Ox, whatever his name was. Yeah, he was.
He was out there.
Yeah, he was out there too from Hawaii.
He videotaped himself.
He was a state.
Actually, my boss actually went to school with him.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he basically said, "Hey, I'm in here."
Yeah, here's the guy with zip ties.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was ready.
Oh, he was ready. Yeah.
He was ready. And the state representative. Oh, the state representative from West Virginia, Derek Evans, the guy who filmed his...
Exactly. But that's a fact. And somebody made a meme and was like how they always they had the meme about the meme with the four Spider-Mans with Spider-Man in the circle in the Capitol, and they were saying blue lives, and they had the nationalists, they had all these different people, and then they had us on the background talking about we just gonna sit here and watch them like beat each other up. Or something like that, and they were talking about how they don't care about Blue Lives Matter. It was like a lot of posts like that going up.
Oh yeah.
This guy right here, he resigned Saturday after being charged with violent entry and disorderly conduct.
Yeah, this was the representative from West Virginia.
Yep.
He had a whole like riot gear style helmet on. He was leading the charge into the building. So there was And then they said there was a lot of police officers with badges, with IDs, everything going in and telling the Capitol Police, just let us through. We're doing this for you and all this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
There was a couple of black officers who I think they've gone anonymous when they did make their reports to the news, but they basically broke down some of the inefficiencies in how that was handled, not only from a standpoint of the management not being there or not being around to take the call when they were like, hey, we need help, but also the issue was a lot of the gear that they should have been told to bring in, they weren't told to bring that stuff in. A lot of the items in the plan, in terms of the perimeter plan, in terms of the interior perimeter plans, they weren't executed. So you're talking about leadership level decisions that were being either made or disregarded, or not.
That's what they were saying. They were saying like they had planned
for a situation that they knew was coming, that they had already discussed what's going to possibly happen, not at that level, not in terms of a siege, but in terms of the great number of people who were going to be coming there. There was a retired Capitol Police officer who talked about how his disappointment in the perimeter itself, in terms of, like you said, the gates. There should have been cops all around those gates.
But they said that's when they had that press conference that day.
Should have been levels of gates.
We saw video of Capitol Police officers telling them to come on in.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they were saying, like in the press conference, the police chief, when we shut everything down and locked the city down, she basically her and the guy, I forget his name, he was the head of like security or whatever, and he was like, they were petitioning to get stuff in place days in advance. Like they had done the due diligence to say, like, listen, this is going to happen. Like, not necessarily they didn't know the full scope of what's going to happen, but the normal procedures were followed for them. Like they did the paperwork, got the approvals, but nothing happened.
Right.
And it was like, we've done this, and now it's a lockdown. And even when the lockdown happened, people were still there.
That's the thing about it. When Black Lives Matter happened last year, they was already prepared. The National Guard
and they wouldn't let the National Guard in too.
They was ready. I got a report on CNN that the National Guard, FBI, and Homeland Security knew about this, did nothing. Trump wired up his people to do this, waited 2 hours, still didn't hear a word from him. Mike Pence had to call in the National Guard to help out the people that, help out all the innocent people.
He got escorted out.
Right.
Like Trump left him for dead.
Right. That's
he got escorted out.
That was my point, though. Like, but you got somebody who was riding with you for the last 5 years, just because he didn't vote the way you wanted to or illegally hold this voting process up. You sent an angry mob at him. They had nooses. They had people with automatic weapons. They had people with pipe bombs. They had people with pipe bombs at the national, the RNC and the GOP office headquarters.
Yeah.
How you have pipe bombs don't come in easily made. That take days and planning. So this was thought out.
Yeah, but my thing is when it comes to how you just kick them people out or kick people to the curb like that, like the man with, like we've been saying for years, the man isn't loyal to anyone.
No, because he kicking people out at the beginning.
Yeah, you feel me? If you look at his,
he's on a new age
cabinet, exactly. Like if you look at his cabinet from the beginning to now, it's only like 2 or 3 left.
And Mike Pence is not one
that many.
Huh? Yeah,
his family don't count.
And then a lot of these people that just resigned now in the past couple of weeks, like I don't respect that neither.
Yeah,
you got somebody who's about to...
his rhetoric hasn't changed from the beginning, not one bit.
No.
If anything, one could say he toned it down a little bit. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like his rhetoric has not changed. Got more
selective of what he says.
Exactly. He got real selective. He got smarter over the years with it. You feel me? Even when he was telling them to calm down.
Yeah, the way he was saying that shit was unbelievable.
Yeah, like some of the words, some of the phrases, just listen to him when he was like, "I love y'all," you know what I mean? But don't do that, you know what I mean? He never really conceded. You feel me? Like he's still holding that hope. But a lot of these people that's just, you know what I mean, trying to distance themselves from him now, like I don't respect it.
Like, their moral compass is bankrupt anyway. How you gonna resign the week of after this massacre because I guess he turned his back on everybody that had his back over the years, and so he went through the rapists.
For them anyway.
No, but they're rapists. They didn't back them up for their people in cages. There's good people on both sides. Charlottesville. Over the years, last 4 years, now they saying that this guy's crazy. He might be crazy now.
Right.
They're blind.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing is that, like you said, they've talked about it. I mean, there's video of Lindsey Graham, of Chris Christie, of Ted Cruz, of Marco Rubio, of even Rudy Giuliani. This is pre-presidential Trump. Them talking about the bad things and the horrible acts and the even just his speech, just things that he talks about, how he was not a great leader, that he's not the right type of leader for this country. Them speaking about the atrocities that he's going to bring upon this country. Maybe not even atrocities, but they were talking about how he was going to bring down the fabric of this country. And then 2 seconds later they're supporting him and they're on his literally on his dick. I mean,
and you know what?
Had to make it
not only that, but
had to make a deal
Ted
with the devil.
Cruz.
Yeah, deal
Sorry,
with
what's
the
that?
I said they made the deal with the devil, and when you make a deal with the devil, it's like you can't don't try to reverse it now when it don't go your way. It was working for you all this time. It was working for you.
Yeah,
and then to the bitter end.
And when it gets the grain, Clint, he's gonna go against the grain.
Yeah,
but out of all those people, Cruz is the worst. You got my man talk about your father and that assassinating JFK. You got him talking about your wife, and you still riding with this guy until the final hour. Then you want like, I don't want no part of it.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. They Republicans are. I mean, they're known for lying and directly on camera, right in front of your face. They literally just
lying like a mug
3 hours ago, and now they changed their whole tune, and then they'll tell you, I never said that. What's his name? Rudy Giuliani said we need to have a trial by combat.
Yes.
Right before they stormed the Capitol, he says we need to have a trial by combat in terms of this whole election situation. And then they come back to him 6 hours later. If that, I don't know if it was 6 hours. It might have been 4. They come to him 6 hours later, and they're like, so what did you mean by that trial by combat? Oh, I didn't mean combat of people. I meant the machines are going to combat each other, the different voting machines. Nigga, really? You do you really think
You
we that
sound
stupid, Rudy? Just
gaslighting. That's gaslighting 101.
Actually, yes, he does.
That's gaslighting. He learned that from Trump. That's gaslighting 101.
Exactly. It's totally
I'm gonna do
gaslighting.
some shit and bring it back to tell you, and that ain't happening.
Kellyanne Conway, like you said, Chris Christie, a lot of them did that. They all changed their tune within hours. Just because, like Smooth just said, because it made them look bad as a country, not because of just him making himself look bad. Because everybody was used to him making himself look bad, because he was a blatant liar from day one. So they known for him to be fact checked to death. But when you start making the entire administration look stupid, you make the entire political party look dumb. They want to walk it back.
I got a question.
So let me just make a quick point based on Jim Animal's comment here. He was just mentioning how stock up on water, perishables, weapons if you haven't already. They plan to take out electrical grid since last year. So one thing I also want to make mention too, because a lot of people, and even here we've been saying, it's like, they've done this and they've done that because they had been planning this for days. No, they've been planning a lot of this for months. What you got to remember is Trump actually started the rhetoric and the allegations of voter fraud back in like January of 2020.
No. Before then,
last election.
Remember, his first election.
Yeah,
his first election.
Even then, that's true. True that. But in terms of this election, he's been pushing hard for voter suppression since back in January. Actually, I might have been even before that too. I think it actually might have been November or December of last year, of 2019. So you're talking about a year of planning to bring this to a head, all based on, like you said, the same thing he did in his first election, because he was claiming voter fraud, not realizing he was going to win.
Yeah.
Had no clue.
Exactly.
He wanted to make sure that was going to be on the table, And the crazy thing is the strategy was working because people were believing it. They were literally believing it. It's like, we haven't even voted yet. How do you have voter fraud and you haven't even voted yet? We're months out, a year out. And that's why
they came up with the way we voted this last time.
Yeah,
and how strict it was.
Yeah, and you got to think a lot of the what they call it, dates and timetables had already been pre-established. So all these dates that like you said with the shirts, Sonny, these shirts they could have made these back in the summer, because the thing is we already knew what day they were going to have to do this certification. We already know.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff they had from the election. Exactly. A lot of that stuff was just left over from the election or previous election.
Exactly. So, the biggest thing is they plan these things out, and don't be surprised is a lot of the not only just rhetoric but rumors, like Jim Adam was talking about. It's obviously coming true because they've been talking about storming the Capitol for years. That's been actually a discussion for years. That's something that they, not for voter fraud, but for other reasons. So that's always been in the cycle. So these kind of things they've been planning for. And these militia, that's what they do.
They built on, yeah.
Train to do these types of insurgencies. Because their idea is that if something happens and this government needs to be overturned, we're going to be the ones to overturn it. And we're going to rush into a state capitol, and it all filters in to be the same thing with the U.S. Capitol. They basically made the same, not the same floor plan, but you know what I mean. Yeah. It's basically a building in the middle of a square with fences, cops, and you know what I mean. So you got the same kind of thing going on.
Yeah, what next to the White House? I mean, really.
Yeah, but like Sonny said earlier, like when the FBI, CIA, all these people had information about what's about to happen early on. You feel me with this, and to address what Jim was saying, I can see that happening, but like they've been planning this forever. You feel me? This was always a big coup. The first thing that fell was the mishap with the kidnapping of your governor in Michigan. Mm-hmm. They got caught.
Yep.
You feel me? That was going to be their first act. You feel me?
Clint,
they had things lined up that they wanted to do.
Hey, Clint, to answer your point, to add to your point, they had video training exercise videos with that too of how to take down anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel me? Like this is what they do. Like Willie said, this is what they prepare for. But I felt
they took
like
down
they
the
had.
U.S. Capitol. What next? The White House? They didn't like.
But you see, when people that's involved, when it's a coup, it's an inside job as well.
Yeah.
So it's people inside that cap. Trust me, it was people that was inside there that was acting like they scared that was in on it too.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. Know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like all of them in there were just supposed to be. They knew who was who.
Right.
They
Can I get
knew
a
who
shout
was
out?
who in there.
I shared a video with one of the not the Democrats speaking about the incident, and it almost being a fight late on that night inside the thing, because he basically was like, listen, they're still naying the process. He's like, we built this process with you guys. This is the process that's been built with you guys. This never changed. This has been the process. Y'all basically saying no to a process y'all already okayed. Right. And he was going into like how he felt about it, and they were getting so riled up, like to where Nancy Pelosi is like telling them, like she's trying to rein it in. They're going off, and like you don't really see it on camera, but you can hear the commotion. And it's like y'all still, after everything that happened that day, this is the evening, y'all still on that bullshit.
Right.
Like at that point, y'all at this point, I feel like this. If you could do that on the nation's capital, which is like, why not the White House at some point?
Right.
Like you've already done it.
I mean, that's the thing is
and it's not to promote that, but I'm just saying, like, what's next? Like y'all just out here wilding out.
Is this foreshadowing?
And what is it going to take for somebody to take, like, now we're gonna really see a White House down, or Olympus is falling? We gonna really see that, like, real live in real life, not on the movies, like in real life. That's what we're gonna have to deal with, because y'all just showed, they basically just showed outside terrorists, like with the help of a president, in the words of a president and his goons, that this can go down.
Right. I mean, to Taylor's point,
and how it went down is fucking amazing.
Yeah, to Taylor's point, she was saying how, you know, Pence being a VP technically didn't have the authority to activate the National Guard, but you know, she says our history, our precedents has shown that VPs have been known to make certain decisions when the president isn't.
But it's a law that has to be enacted for him to take. Like they have to show the process. You have to show that they're unfit, and it's like it's not as simple as saying Trump on some bullshit, let me take over. It's like, and in that situation, even in that situation, he couldn't just react. It's unfortunately it's a process.
He has to be incapacitated.
It's a process of that. Like you know, when you watch these movies, not necessarily the movies are right. It's a process.
The cabinet just has to agree, but unfortunately, half the cabinet
not going to agree, because half the cabinet with Trump.
Yep.
It was not going to be an easy decision whether Mike Pence wanted it, and not to say Mike Pence is absolved from all of this or whatever, but it's not much he can do if the people that are fighting, some of the people fighting with Trump is right there helping out. Like it's not as simple as saying Trump fucking up, let me go step in the side. Like that's not the way.
Can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question? So we're talking about like Shantae just mentioned in her comment. She said Republicans and conservatives are hardcore loyalists to their party no matter what they say or do, which is true. That's why the guy Halsey, I can't forget I forget. He was one of the main ones challenged the don't certify the votes. You feel me? He was one of the main senators or whatever. You feel me? He just was writing a book, and the big publishing company just dropped it. I forget his name, first name, but it's House. Should people like that, Mike Pence, like you said, we can't absolve Mike Pence. All these people were hardcore loyalists to Donald Trump, no matter what he said or did. We want him to get impeached. We want him out. What about them?
Yeah, get all of them out.
Well,
you can't
to answer your question,
and even to that point, you really can't get everybody out because you don't know. It may be people that's outwardly supporting Trump, maybe people that's still hiding that they're supporting Trump. So you can't get everybody. You can try.
Well,
I guess my bigger point is, it's like if we make Trump the fall guy, it absolves and releases a lot of accountability from a lot of other people. It's like a lot of people deserve to take full responsibility and the full weight of the responsibility, just like Trump. Like, I don't think it should just, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
I don't think it should be. I should be him doing spot.
All these people was fighting to the bitter end with him, to everything he said. I feel like all of them,
they all should be charged with murder, treason, and all that.
But
whatever.
To answer your question, Clint, they just want Trump out because he still has nuclear codes. He can still do some damage within the next 12, 11 days he has left in office. They just want to get that out the system.
Well, it's not worry about codes. You're talking about. So this is the reason I want Trump impeached. This is the reason why I think they should go along with the impeachment portion of it, is because there's other benefits that he's going to have remaining the president of the United States. You got to remember,
24.
Hold on. Being the president of the United States has benefits that are far-reaching beyond your 4 years. You remain president of the United States. That's why when you address Barack Obama, you still address him as President Barack Obama. He's still the president. You never stop being the president. So you still get a pension or a stipend. You still have Secret Service. They still have to protect that man. You still have certain rights and authorities that aren't above and beyond regular, U.S. citizens per se, but there's rights and authorities that you still get. You know what I mean?
And information.
There's still benefits. You know what I mean? So to be able to take that away from him because he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve to be the president of the United States for the rest of his life. He doesn't deserve to have Secret Service and taxpayer money going into protecting him the rest of his life. He doesn't deserve the ability to be able to to be considered noteworthy or to be considered, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that go along
with any kind of level of respect given to him.
On top of the fact that he can still take federal office. You know what I mean? Not only we're not worried about president. You can step down from president and become a senator. You do realize that, right? So it's not just that. You have other benefits of being a politician and having that office because you never stop having that title. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what
if you impeach him, you strip all that away. Now, some people have brought up if you charge him with treason or you charge him with sedition or whatever you want to charge him with, that will probably prevent him from taking some kind of office. But why take that chance when he could be pardoned? It's been done before, where a president, a incoming president, will pardon a one that's walking out. You know what I mean? You don't have the ability to be pardoned from impeachment. That's not happening.
That's another point I was going to make. In 2024, he could run again for presidency. You take away the information that he gets for the rest of his life that he's actually threatened to sell or to release information as well, because ex-presidents still get incoming information on foreign, domestic information, from different leaders. You still privy to that information just in case they have to weigh in on it, from like the current president to the prior president.
Wow. See.
And to Clint, I was going to ask a question of, if this was a peaceful protest or insurrection, why do you have AK gun, multiple weapons? Are you taking the hostages? No, you're going to kill somebody. You're going to hurt them. There's no point of taking armed weapons to the state capitol building for a protest.
Yeah, I mean, in the defense of that, if there's an open carry law, you are allowed to open carry. So that's not the bigger problem. The bigger problem is
on the government property.
They had these things planned out. The bigger problem is that you have the sitting president inciting and encouraging. I mean, he literally stood in front of these people and had a whole rally in front of the White House. I mean, who does that? Presidents don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's the first, but he's one of the only presidents that's ever held rallies at the level in the frequency that he held in a non what they call it, a non election year. You know what I mean? Presidents normally don't do rallies until election year comes. You know, so he's having these rallies and these well, I guess they're just rallies, but he's having these rallies on like a monthly basis all over the country, just literally just building up this base. You know what I mean? And I think it's just been a running thing of what they call when you start telling or making people want to do these things. You know, basically terrorists, they get people going. I'm sorry, I can't think of the words. Hey, Joy. But basically, you know, he was pretty much getting these people on his side. You know what I mean? Just to basically do whatever he says. You know what I'm saying?
Like he should have. You know what I think about when he said "Make America"? Like I was thinking about this for the last 2 days. The slogan "Make America Great Again." Do you remember what's the movie where Chris Rock was running for president or whatever he was running for?
Head of state.
Yeah, and the guy was like, God bless America and no place else. It's just, I don't know why, but like that just reminded me of that. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, this man is full of shit. Like, and then to Clint's point, it's not even just him. It's not just him. It's all the people that think like he does. And it's a detriment to everybody. Because it's not nothing that they're doing is serving the people, it's serving them.
Yeah, and that's my thing. My point is, though, to be honest with y'all, like I truly believe like Trump small fry. Like I understand his position and all of that, and like Anwar had mentioned earlier, there were a lot of enablers and people that enabled Trump. You feel me? I feel like the roles reversed too. You feel me? Like I really feel like he a mascot. Like when you talk about them rallies, like he was just speaking for them. You feel me? And since those people had a voice, you feel me? Like, yeah, they're gonna chant, like hold him up.
Yeah, because he's a winner. He's the best at everything. He's in the best health of his life.
It's like he's our puppet. You feel me?
Right.
He's our puppet. But the puppet masters really are those people. Like I'm like they just were like Joy, like not Joy, but the young lady mentioned earlier, these people are now revealing themselves. You feel me? Exactly. And they able to reveal themselves because of him, because they hold him up. But as that puppet master, like they the puppet master. Like I don't think he's the one that's getting them, riling them up.
Like he's
like
not
they already riled them. Yeah, they
he's
already
Colonel Sanders.
But that was to your point.
Make the chicken.
Many shows before we talked about how they got Obama, and that Trump is a direct result of getting Obama, and they was like, "Oh hell no, what the fuck?" So, and somebody made a post the other day. I forget what day it was, and I'm not going to quote it because I don't remember what it said, but it was like, look at all the different things like the Black Panther, Nation of Islam, like all these Martin Luther King, you know, all the Malcolm X's and the people that were trying to get people of color to somewhere, and how they were basically broken down and looking like terrorists and people that were against everything else when they like basically got them out of there. White supremacy and the KKK are very much alive.
Right.
They have never once been invaded, captured, killed, and massacred in a way that these other organizations that showed a place of power and did for their people was like. So it's never happened like that. And then we take it back to the FBI and back to J. Edgar Hoover and all these people, and they say how the KKK basically was formed by a bunch of white police anyway. So these groups like the white nationalists and the KKK and all these people that support Trump or are under Trump that really hate everybody except for them, they're never, like, they're always going to be there because nobody's going to disband them, because half the people that we see that are not like us are pro them.
Right.
So in the years that the Black Panthers and Nation of Islam and all these other different groups that came under, because many groups that we don't even know about came under and did these things, those two have survived.
Yeah.
Then they keep on surviving. They're never going to go away because that's where the money is. That's where the idealism is of what America should be. It was never, and it goes to the point of somebody posted this whole everything was not for us.
Right.
So this is why this is why they stormed the Capitol. This is why that they wanted to change the vote, because anything that out of that fruition was going to be to some slightly benefit us. Not even that much. Slight, tad bit, minuscule, but it was giving us too much. So it's like, let's take it back to the old ways.
Yeah, I believe the biggest thing to what both of you is just saying is that Trump literally, I mean, the one thing you can give him credit for is he knows how to keep his finger on the pulse of the people in terms of the people that he was serving. He understood. He's
a rich man. He was around all people all his life.
Yeah, he understood what he needed to do in order to keep them engaged, keep them active, keep them moving forward in not only their own agenda, but his agenda at the same time. And I think, to Smooth's point is that they not only needed him to be their mascot or to be their face, but he needed them to rile him up or to get him going, to push him further up, So I think that the analogy or the comparison you used there was perfect, because the fact is he's basically their cheerleader. He's just cheering them on. You know what I mean? Making sure that they stay in the fight. Right?
They need each other.
The fight that they're perpetuating, not the fight that he's perpetuating, because he could care less. One thing we do know is Trump could care less. If he has his agenda taken care of, he's good. He could care less about anything else. So you give him what he needs, he's going to give you what you need.
That's what. They need each other.
Or other, he don't really care. He really seriously don't care. The man,
no. That's what they need each other. He needs them to.
It doesn't absolve him of being racist. I hate when people say, "Oh, he still loves black people. He shakes hands with them." Racism has nothing to do with shaking hands with black people. I'm sorry, it doesn't. There was a lot of slave owners fucking black women. Best believe. How you think we got mixed race kids out here? It had nothing to do with them being unable to touch black people. So you can still be racist and still love black people at the same time. The thing is you don't want to see, just like Sonny just said, you don't want to see them get ahead, or you don't want to see them get ahead of you, or you don't want to see them achieve things that will take them out of your factory loop, your prison, your school to prison pipeline. That's the last thing you need, right? So I think that bottom line, Trump definitely was their cheerleader. Now let's get over to, because we're already going into the second hour, let's get over to the ban, and I'm going to initially discuss what he got banned from. Just basically, he got banned from all the major social media sites. He got banned from some other sites that are other services that were helping him put out his messages, such as Spotify, such as YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and a lot of this was just because of residual stuff. And so it's not only him, but also some of his companies, the Team Trump team, as well as his lawyers and a couple of his supporters like General Flynn. They were all either banned or suspended or given temporary lockouts on their accounts in all of these systems. It's the Shopify and the Pinterest for me, though. The man can't even look up cookies. Like, where you gonna get his next meal at? That's what I want to know. So, I know Dame and Smooth both had some opinions on this. Go ahead, Dame. I'll let you get started first.
You took one of mine. Like, how the heck you get banned from Pinterest? You can't even post your receipts. That is horrible. But the next one is Spotify. My man can't listen to music. God, you took away his freedom of hearing. What's going on here? Clint, this is all yours.
Nah, I really like the. I guess you're referring to the question I put in the discussion room.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm just putting it in there. I just wanted to see what people think. You know, I play devil's advocate all the time. You know, because he was going with the censorship thing. A lot of people from his camp who support him, they call it censorship. And then what I am noticing is, and be clear, censorship is when government suppressing, not when a private entity. Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you comment on that.
But you know, people. I was watching the thing. If they consider, because the monopoly that something like Facebook has, if Facebook become considered a utility,
yeah,
then you know Twitter's a little different. But as far as Facebook go, and the monopoly that Facebook hold, you know, Facebook could be charged with censorship. That's a whole different issue if they make them a utility. But that's a whole different discussion. My thing was, like, it don't make no point. You feel me? It don't make no point. Over the last 5 to 6 years, because he started when Obama was in office.
Right.
You know what I mean? The man ain't American. I want to see his birth certificate. He started all that stuff, you know what I mean, in the midst of Obama's presidency. Right. You feel me? He hasn't shown no remorse. He has only gotten, like we was talking about earlier, more savvy with it and how he promoted. But he was more outlandish before, say even more outlandish things now. So it's like, why y'all doing it now? Because of the people? That's my point. It's like they trying to throw all the weight on him, and we're going to hush the white supremacy. Like, nah. That's why I more want to know what y'all think about that other website or app that got shut down, Parler.
Parler, yes, yeah.
You feel me?
Google shut that down.
So the biggest thing that did, so since you you know, I don't know why I thought you were on that trail of feeling like he shouldn't have been banned for the censorship portion of it.
I was just being, you know, for the discussion group, just making them random.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but even on top of that, can I speak to that before you jump into the other app?
Oh yeah.
So I just wanted to just reply because I've been watching, you know, news. I'm not really a news watcher now because, you know, whatever. But anyway, they were basically, and at the early on before the lockdown, they basically were saying that they basically called Twitter and Facebook out because they felt like they was promoting the hate speech. They were like basically giving off the fake news. Mm-hmm. They were supplying people access to the fake news. So whether Trump was posting it himself or having these accounts or whatever post this fake news, people were clicking on it and listening to it like it was actual factual news.
They're basically profiting from it.
Yeah. So basically, the news basically was slamming on Twitter and Facebook. Those are the top two about that, and that's probably why they initially locked him out. Now the other apps, I don't know why they did that, but I guess they're like entities, you know, a part of the affiliates of all the other ones. That's probably why they did it too. But the news basically went hard in the middle of all that craziness and talking about how because they had been talking about it, like, you know, the terrorist stuff, how people were terrorists in Iraq and whatever were reaching out to people and making American terrorists come over there to, you know, do terroristic bombs and stuff over here. Basically, it was the same with Trump. It's like he was spreading fake news, as he likes to call it. Right. And people were selling it and giving it on Facebook as if it was real news. So they're like, you guys should be able to, calling out Facebook, Twitter, saying you guys should be able to monitor and make sure that people aren't getting false narratives and false news. And since you didn't, you're part of the problem too. Right. So that's why I think that Twitter and Facebook shut him out initially, because they were like, now you're basically saying that we helped this situation happen.
Yeah. So the biggest thing with that is it's the too little too late. You know, it's the too little too late for me. And I think a lot of the people who are still criticizing Facebook and Twitter is the fact that it's too little too late. You waited, you profited off of all the ramblings, the rhetoric, the fake news, the accusations, everything. Like you said, Smooth said, for the last 6, 7, maybe even 8 years, that he's been on this tear about trying to bring down Obama, then bring himself up, and then all during his whole presidency, just spewing all types of either lies, rhetoric, or accusations that had no grounds or no basis. His conspiracy theories as well. So a lot of the other social media, they're not really affiliated with Facebook or Twitter, but basically what you were saying is Facebook and Twitter are the larger social media platforms. They set the standard, basically. So a lot of their terms and conditions, they stood on the fact that they were giving Trump a pass on his rhetoric and on his, false information that he would, give out all the time because of his status. Because he's the president of the United States, everything he says becomes noteworthy. And so they
his celebrity
restrict that and have people miss or be unable to attain access to noteworthy information that would normally make the news or make big headlines, things like that. So that was their stance. Wrong or right, I felt like it was wrong, but wrong or right, that's what they felt like. The fact that they're doing it now, this ban, it's the clear-cut problem of you waited till the fact that now there's bloodshed on your hands, right? Now you have people calling you out because there's literal blood on your hands. There's this, incitement of violence, even though, like we said, he's been
doing this for the longest,
encouraging this for years, So it's the fact that it's become a reality. Now they want to reactively put this ban on. And a lot of the other websites and services that were on that list, the reason they did it is just because as a precedent, they see Facebook, Twitter do it. They're like, hey, we don't.
Now we're all going to do it. Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and do it too. The Spotify, I believe, Pinterest, and what was the other one? Spotify, Pinterest, and
Snapchat,
TikTok. They were all doing it mainly because it was just another avenue for not only his, because he didn't have accounts on any of those, but he was getting information out through those other accounts and through his followers sharing this information on those platforms. So when you have that kind of influence that, this information can still get out on these platforms, they decided to shut and ban his ability to come over and continue to proliferate this information. The biggest thing is Parler, to get back to Clint's question, Parler is a platform that was built on the idea of not suppressing information or not having terms and conditions. Like Smooth said, these companies can ban you for the simple fact that they do have rules. They have rules, they have terms and conditions, and they're private. They're privately owned companies. They're not part of the government. So and the whole thing of people saying, oh, this goes against my First Amendment right, it's against free speech. That has nothing to do with free speech. Technology services owned by these private companies has nothing to do with free speech. You know what I mean? Because the fact is, free speech is more about the government, keeping the government from arresting you or trying to suppress you when you have shit to say about how the government is being run. The government is not allowed. It has nothing to do with the man sitting next to you. He can tell you to shut the fuck up all he wants. So Twitter and Facebook exercise their ability to say, shut the fuck up. You're on our platform. You're literally standing on our stage. They just pulled the stage from up under them. So a lot of the rhetoric about, free speech, about censorship, all that, like Smooth said, it has nothing to do with this. These are private companies with
people that are not readily informed on what stuff is, or not understanding what things mean.
But people don't really
or trying to convolute two issues.
Yeah, and that too is people are complaining about something they don't even understand. You know what I mean? They don't
want to
themselves.
You're censoring their leader.
The rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? They don't look it up. They don't confirm it. They don't fact check anything. You know what I'm saying?
They just go for whatever they heard and that's it.
That I did find that was interesting is that the ACLU is actually speaking out against Twitter and Facebook doing this ban, mainly because they feel like the opportunity to shut down these types of accounts and things like that, especially at the late hour, it's not really doing a service for the protection of the country. It's only fueling the fire.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's where Parler comes into play, right? You know, he's going to move his constituency and his followers, his true followers, to this new platform, right? Now, Apple and Google took the next step of banning Parler in order to try to, you know, quell that as well. But you still have they still have their own websites. Trump can start his own website, his own service. They can do all of this outside of the confines or the jurisdiction of Apple and Google as well. You don't have to get your apps directly from Apple or from Google. You can get them side loaded in. You don't have to go on websites controlled by Facebook or you know, Facebook's a huge company, you know, and they tie in and hook into hundreds and thousands of websites. You don't have to allow Facebook or Twitter to hook into your site. So there's other opportunities and platforms. He's already a huge name. He's already a huge celebrity. The thing is that these companies were enabling him to distribute his information freely and openly to the masses, right? Yeah. You know, without having to bring the masses to you, because they're already there. You know, that's the reason why we all advertise and put our platform on Facebook, on Twitter, things like that, because they have built-in audience, one that we don't have to gain, we don't have to pull in, right? You know, so that was what he was doing. That's the benefit for him. Now he already has his audience. He's got 75 million people who are willing to vote for him. He could take that with him and move that somewhere else. Now he's going to lose the other 1.5 billion or 2.5 billion that Facebook has, and the other 1.5 billion that Twitter has. He's going to lose that, but he still has his base, right? You know, so I think that the big thing is not just him, going back to Smooth's point, his team, they understand that they know the best way to get that message out, right? You know, and the best way is to get it on a platform, to get it in front of people. So that's the big argument. That's the big thing there.
For safety reasons, I would have just let him do his little rhetoric or whatever on the main platform, so you can at least get an idea of what they're trying to do and what they're trying to plan. Like if they're trying to plan some type of another insurrection like they just did last week, you know, because now they have to do covert things and get the message out to see how they want to play out the rest of this end game. So I would rather have kept him on the main social media to a certain extent.
Well, to me, this is all like the Matrix, man. What's Trump agent? What's the agent name?
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith. Trump Agent Smith. He the rogue one. He was part of the system, and then he just went rogue. So now the system going to the people, which is Twitter and all that, like, yo, we got to get him back under control. So we need y'all to shut him down. Now we know we was just trying to crucify y'all over these last couple of months, because the government been trying to crucify these social media sites these last few months. Now, I mean, Mark Zuckerberg been under pressure. Dude to run Twitter been under pressure. It's a couple more of them that the government has under pressure. So anything that I feel like anything they feel like they can do to help, you know what I mean, they gonna do, you know what I mean, to relieve some pressure. And I think this was one of those things. You feel me? I really don't see the purpose in it, because like you said, bro, that man already got 74 million followers. Like Dame said, mostly all they're gonna do is incite his base, make them more angry. You know what I mean? I don't see the purpose. So, you know what I mean? I just think it was a frivolous thing to do. You know what I mean? I don't think it's to the point that you was mentioning about the discussion, but like, I don't really think it's censorship or none of that. You feel me? I just think it's bullshit. You feel me? I just really think it's bullshit.
The other point that the ACLU made is that they felt like we should be concerned that companies like Facebook and Twitter have, you know, unchecked power to remove people from platforms that have been dispensable for the speech of billions, right? So it's like, okay, removing Trump, we like I just described, Trump doesn't really require or need Facebook or Twitter. He does not really require that to get his actual base or get his actual following to go wherever he wants them to go. But he also has the unlimited power of being the president, where he can have a press conference. He can go to his Newsmax or go to Fox News or whatever, and he could get his message out regardless, right? He has that ability. But their thing is that, and this is their quote, like many Black, brown, and LGBTQ activists who have been censored by social media companies, they will not have that luxury. They will have that hope that these companies will apply their rules transparently to everyone. And like I just said earlier, a lot of these companies, their defense about not banning Trump earlier was because they gave him a pass for being president of the United States. They gave him a pass for his status. So, we know, and we all know people, they have made mistakes or have said things that they didn't, it wasn't a mistake to them. They said what they said, and they've been banned or they've been soft banned, right? They either can't do certain things, they can't log into their account, or
we've been banned for. I got banned from Facebook for posting a black man chest, and it was like it's nudity. I'm like, wait a minute,
right.
People I know, I've seen worse posts than mine. Mine's is just a black man in his beautiful chest, and y'all just like jail for 30 days. I see you later. Like what?
And that's the thing, is that we don't have the ability, and a lot of these activists don't have the ability to just move our respective followers somewhere else. We got to go and create a whole new fake account.
Yeah, that's why I got 2 Facebooks now.
But I think that we can't hear you, Smooth.
Oh, he muted
I just
himself.
want to do something real quick because I know he was Anwar. If Anwar's still on, please get in contact with us somehow. Email me, either email the I know you follow the discussion group on Facebook. Put a message in there or something, please, because I would love to do an interview with you on here. Anwar, he dope too. Nah, I mean, he did some great interviews. He did one with Cornell West. He's from Trenton. I mean, he real intelligent brother. I would love to either get him on the show or do
That's
one.
What we talked about that last week when he jumped on. You wasn't here. He was looking for you. He was looking for you. I was like, yeah, he was
Jim Animal on here too. Jim Animal is But Jim Animal loves to put the politic talk. He definitely got that all under. He definitely can speak to some of that too.
For real. I love, because I mean, want to get some more people involved.
Right.
Join the conversation.
Hey, can I give a shout out to the black guy, security guard that was by himself?
Oh yeah.
Everybody says the election is like a rickety cricket. I think I know what he means, and I think everybody is on both sides of the fence on that one for sure. It's definitely just a mess. It's a mess, and that's the big question. What's going to happen next week? That's the big question, and I think we have a lot of theories. We have a lot of fears. We have a lot of basically we feel like constants or assurities. The biggest thing is they've already said, they've been trying to push for people not to come to the inauguration. I think the mayor of DC, I think it was, that got on the news either earlier this morning or this afternoon and was laying out the vaccine protocols, but then when switched over to the situation about the inauguration, and was saying she's hoping that people won't show up because, one, pandemic, but then two, the whole fear of another insurrection, fear of violence, fear of protests just getting out of hand. So she's definitely pushing folks to not come. Also, there's a lot of talk on social media, as well as some not ideas, what's the word? Some discussions or conversations in some of the news platforms saying that they would suggest that the inauguration be virtual or take place off-site, so to speak. So, we definitely want to see, how that works out next week. So, great question there.
Yeah, but like Dame said, shout out to that police officer that was left by himself and was trying to stop the mob that was coming. He knew he couldn't do nothing with him. He was running like, listen, stop. I'm going to run.
No, but it was a story behind that him acting that way diverted them from getting to the politicians that were in the chambers. They weren't all secure yet. He was trying to buy time so they could get to safety.
Yeah.
So my man put his life on the line, literally, while others, hey, let's take selfies with these idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to give a shout out to him, and I want to give a negative shout out to all the people that were Trump supporters there who bashed Colin
fake
Kaepernick.
girl who got fake mace. What's her name? Elizabeth from what's her name?
Yes, from Nashville, Tennessee.
Somebody
from
pointed
Nashville.
out on TikTok that she had. Somebody pointed out TikTok. Did anybody realize that she had an onion in her on the towel that she had?
Oh yeah, I saw something.
And I was like, you know how many times I had to watch that video, and they slow-moed it, and I'm like, yo, are you kidding me?
Do you realize they made a meme about it? The Animaniacs meme. I love it. But that was like the best meme though.
Right.
I had to share that one. Oh no, but hey, something made me forget what I was going to say.
I'm sorry.
Love you too. God.
But yeah, I think the big thing is there's a lot of aftermath that comes to this, right? You know, not only just the inauguration, not only just the talk of possible impeachment or versus just articles, or not articles, but invoking the 25th Amendment, which is another option, right? You know, if you can get the cabinet and which I don't know how would they work that out now that like not half of them, but I think it's like a third of the cabinet has resigned. You know, how would that work out?
Yeah, they're
about to get replaced anyway.
Pence will have to initiate it, but Pence, right before I logged on, I was just reading an article on a couple articles online, one from CNN, one from Forbes, and they was talking about how them two finally had a conversation. So like Pence ain't really beat to invoke the 25th. He just wanted to ride it out these couple of days. Now I mean he don't want to, because he do that, like people gotta understand, like if he do that, then them people really gonna be on some shit.
That's
like,
what I was gonna say.
Really gonna be on some shit then. So it's like they still gotta play it cool. They still gotta play the game. You know what I mean? They get out there with the threats and all that, but the people done showed you, his people done showed you, we don't go fuck about your threats. You know what I mean? We don't care about none of that.
No, they really did though.
Exactly. And we got people inside. So it's like, no, I mean, like, nah, we ain't worried about none of that.
I mean, to Dad Bod's comment, you know, he's saying that, you know, there's been fights between people. He said a Proud Girl and the BLM, and you know, it's sad how we're polarized. And that's the thing, is that it's not only about stopping, or we can't just stop Trump. That's not going to just stop it. It's just not going to go away just because Trump's not in office. It's not going to go away because they impeach Trump. That's not the answer. You know, there definitely has to be a bringing together, right? There has to be some way of getting people to be able to live in this country together, right? You know what I mean?
And that's why I don't know if y'all saw the video I posted on Facebook. I didn't like with the girl, it was a security guard, Capitol Security, was in the actual room, like the room where they were doing the votes. Lady got in there, she was arguing with her or whatever. Like, no, she was talking to somebody else. She was talking to the news cameras. And the lady tried to sucker punch her.
Right, yeah.
It didn't work out for her. She tried to sucker punch her. That lady turned around, black lady turned around and punched the hell out of that white lady, like busting nose and everything. Right? Boom, bow, done. So when the lady came out, she was like, lady, that black girl hit me. The interviewer was like, what happened to you? He's like, that black girl hit me. And so he's like, what? And then she walks off, whatever. Her husband scoops her off, whatever. Then he turned around, he said, was it BLM? And she was like, yeah. I don't like that. Like, don't. Yeah. You hit someone, and my mom always told me, you hit somebody, but be prepared to get your ass hit back. Like, they're not going to let you just hit them. You swung, like, you just act like this lady walked up and just punched the shit out of you for no reason. No. You were on camera swinging at her. She swung back, it's just that she connected and you didn't. You were epic fail. She she succeeded that task and did what she needed to do and kept about her business.
Right.
And then you could blame it on the whole movement.
Nothing to do with, you know.
It had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. That was you hit a person, the person hit your ass back.
Right.
It didn't matter her race. You swung, you missed. She swung, she connected.
Right.
It didn't work out for you.
She's a better boxer than you, Karen.
Like I bet you keep your damn hands to yourself now.
I remember I was going to say now. Remember the guy, security guard? No, not the security guard. There's another video of a police officer being crushed by the mob in between the door.
That's the one that died.
He died. They said somebody else. Somebody said that he was okay. He was the one that died. So I'm wondering. So during Black Lives Matter, where were all the police? No, Blue Lives Matter people. Where were they at? Obviously, they don't.
They were beating all the police. they weren't agree. There was I think Sean King put a video out and a picture out of a cop that they laid out on the ground and proceeded to beat him with crutches, with sticks, with poles, with his own baton. They literally laid that man out, a Capitol police officer, and just beat the crap out of him. He survived, but they beat the crap out of that man. And it's like, really, you're the same group that pushes Blue Lives Matter, and not half of them, but a lot of the guys out there were police officers.
Yeah,
they were police officers. And
that's why when somebody said the lockdown happened, and they posted that meme, and they said and so all the cops do was go back and put their uniforms on and come back in the crowd. Yo, I died when I saw that. I was like, yo, that's some facts for real.
Right.
I know. I seen a video with them beating the one cop down the steps.
That's the one, yeah.
That's the one that died, or that's the one
that made it. But
they
were throwing. You were talking about they were throwing stuff at him.
Yeah.
The one guy had the crutches over him.
They went in on him. Yeah. But this how you want to know it's an inside job, right? First of all, they immediately they don't have like security guards. They don't have security guard. They have Capitol Police. They have their own police force.
Yeah, that's who who the girl was. Yeah. She was talking to reporters and swung on.
So the head of that, he had to he lost his job immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now they say it's 5 deaths because another officer killed himself.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's why it's 5. Because one of the officers went home and he killed himself because of that. You feel me? That's let me know in my mind. It's like it's more to that story.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's more to that story. The only way to keep a secret between 3 people is 2 of them is dead. You know what I mean? So like it's more to that story. That's why I said, God, that's an inside job. That wasn't no siege. That was the
Clint, did he kill himself or did he kill himself?
Well, they marked it up as a suicide.
It might be fake news.
They one tapped him.
It might have been the same way Epstein killed himself.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I think that's what Dane meant. He might have been Epstein suicide.
Yeah. Definitely.
But trying to think what else we were going to talk about in this whole situation. I mean, that's basically it. I mean, call them what they are. They're all terrorists.
What I will say is
an insurgents. Call what Trump did. It was sedition. There's got to be a bigger wide sweep though, like Smooth mentioned earlier. There's got to be a bigger wide sweep. Like Anwar even mentioned here too. He said, Pence knows that he might run for president later, and Trump and his base can help him. That's a big problem. They've even talked about the fact that Pence is probably a bigger racist than Trump.
Yeah.
So you have a team of people who have not only profited off of Trump's presidency, but also have been complicit in all the things he's done, and they have no repercussions. That's kind of a problem. You know what I mean? You probably can't hit them with sedition. You definitely can't hit them with insurgents because they weren't part of the group that went into the Capitol. But there's got to be a bigger sweep of repercussions. Like, hey, you know what? You were part of this group that allowed this to happen, that proliferated this, that allowed this to build up and to become a thing. A lot of you spoke on the rhetoric and pushed the rhetoric, distributed the message for Trump, right? You know, you had Lindsey Graham out there distributing the message. You had Chris Christie distributing the message. Rudy Giuliani was basically his mouthpiece, right?
Hey.
You know, a lot of these people should pay the price that they or pay some kind of price for this because they allow or they groomed these militia and they groomed these followers into the terrorists that they became. Because that's basically what this comes down to. You know, just like that lady who got arrested with Epstein for grooming the girls, just like the other girl who was arrested in California, part of the grooming of those young girls that were trying to be actresses and stuff like that. She was arrested, you know, trying to make them into sex slaves. You know, it's like it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. You grooming these people with your talk of, you know, of voter fraud, your talk of you know everything that Trump ever lied about or said that they continue to put out there and said the same, just regurgitating the same messages that Trump was putting out there that were fact checked and considered to be false. They should face some consequences for that.
Can y'all see this? What I'm sharing?
No.
I can't see it.
Send to me what you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I got into a debate on somebody's status because they were upset because CNN somehow covered it and they wanted to know how. And like they were upset about it. And it's like they were covering the votes. And all this
Still
happened.
not showing?
Yes,
Here's another person.
It's showing now.
That guy in the red tie. He was baiting on too during the riot.
Yeah, this is who I was talking about earlier. That I couldn't get his name right. Josh Hawley. You know what I mean? He one of the main ones that was putting the pressure on. Now I mean, like you say right here, he had became the symbol of how far the Republican Party went to stay in the good graces of the outgoing president. Now I mean, he remember I was talking about he lost his book deal, and they saying that he got just as much blood on his hands as your boy Trump. You know what I mean? He was the first senator to sign the challenge to challenge the results. You know what I mean? Like he the one that got this ball rolling. So that's what basically my question was earlier. You know, Trump only has so much influence to do certain things. You feel me? It took people like him, you feel me, to really get that snowball going. If he don't do that, ain't nobody else signing nothing.
Right.
You feel me? So it's no challenge. But
So
when he do it, go ahead, bro.
Oh no, I was gonna say that was it Senator Graham, that he has no place to go now. He's not gonna win the next election because when he stepped out on Trump saying that we should impeach him, those same bases not gonna vote for him. The other side's not gonna vote for him, so he just basically lost his job. So he who else went out on Trump saying that he shouldn't do it? I think that Ted Cruz, he finally said no, enough is enough. Yeah. So those people are going to view them as traitors.
See, but and they accusing him, saying he broke the dam for other Republicans considering presidential run. That's why you heard Ted Cruz and they talk about Josh Hawley. He the one that broke the dam. But that's why you notice Ted Cruz was on TV a lot more lately, protesting the election results. And then when that stuff happened, he tried to recant or what have you. But you know what I mean, because Hawley did that, you know, it opened up so much. You know what I mean? So and they wanted to get all those people in their good graces. Then, like so I think Sonny just mentioned that even after the riot, he doubled down rather than back down like other Republicans. It's like dudes like this, it's like, you know what I mean, they just as dangerous, if not more, than Trump, because they can go under the radar a little bit, even though they exposed. Because everybody's so worried about Trump. Then meanwhile, he's still doing the same thing. He's still fanning the flames.
No doubt. And they definitely need to pay some kind of have some kind of repercussion for that. Fanning those flames. It's not right that they can just get away scot-free, just like 7/8 of all the people who ran up in Congress are gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely getting away scot-free. So, all right, great show as usual. We're going to see how this plays out over the next week, the next couple of weeks, the next 150 days. I know we're going to see some more big things come from behind this, in terms of protests, in terms of possible action by these actors. And, hopefully, people can be safe. Hopefully people can start to, the boiling point can kind of come down. I don't think it's over. I don't think it's ever going to be close to over, but hopefully we can see it be released, at least quailed a little bit.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to the topic next week. You want to give them a preview of that before we get up out of here? So
next time on GFT Radio.
right. So next week we're going to be talking about the difference between feminism and womanism, and definitely going to get into the differences, the who's really into what, as well as the reasons why that there's two different movements in that regard, as well as we're going to talk about some male counterparts to that as well. So we're going to get into that. I actually got to figure out how to title that one. So hopefully these guys will help me out with that this time.
Not gonna fucking do it.
Myself to title a lot of these episodes, but, that one I'm struggling with, but we'll figure it out. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Not
so make sure y'all do your homework. Make sure y'all look up some definitions. We like to educate our viewers, as you guys see. We don't let you walk away without learning something new. So definitely, and hey, do your own research as well. Don't just take our word for it. Definitely do your own research as well. So,
exactly.
And bring information to us here for you.
Bring information to us as well.
No doubt. We always appreciate our commenters getting on here and giving us the lowdown. We're just talking about Anwar, we're just talking about Gem Animal and their ability to bring us great topics and comments. Aisha, she's a great one as well.
Can y'all hear my printer?
No.
Now we do.
I said now that you pointed it out. So make sure y'all check us out next week. We're here every Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, Twitch, YouTube Live, and Facebook Live. Make sure you listen to us on demand on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud, or catch the replays on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Merchandise. You got to get your merchandise from us. The thing is, I got the Thing Is shirt on. Sonny's got logo. What you got on, Smooth? Smooth's got the all skin folk and kin folk.
Yo,
so
I've been promoting that shirt because when they've been talking about that, they posted the one black guy that was in the thing. I'm like, all skin folk and kin folk, and I put the URL.
No, I figured out what happened there. My boy was there delivering DoorDash.
You know what? I saw
They said I just saw the meme today. It said do not arrest this man. Just send him to us. We'll take care of it. So definitely get your GFT merchandise over at teespring.com/store/GFT radio. And if you forget, you can always see the address over there up in the upper right-hand corner, teespring.com/store/GFT radio. So you can always get our stuff. Make sure you get at us on our new and improved website, gftradioshow.com. And it's definitely coming together little by little, slowly but surely. Appreciate you, Q. Definitely appreciate you being on.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Yes,
y'all.
Indeed.
We saw all of y'all.
All of y'all. Appreciate y'all. And let me hide that. And then we're going to bring up the queen of the show.
Let me move my wig since that's what Dame said I did. Anyway, it's your favorite girl. Sunny. You can find me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, and visit my blog unreservedlyme.com.
No doubt. No doubt.
What was that? I
swear I'm not hiring nothing.
Don't do that again. Don't do that again.
I like my daughter. Like, don't do that. Mom, what you doing?
Oh man, y'all know what it is. It's your boy Smooth. Y'all can catch me on Twitter, where I'm on mostly at eTrenton Groomy. You can visit me on my blog.
He don't know what his self-centered is.
I'm laughing at you. You can visit me on my blog at akingstruth.com. You know what I mean? I'm on there regularly as well. So just holler at your boy.
Yo, Clint, I need you to come to my house so I can punch you in the face, and then you can go back to bed.
I'm sorry, I still forgot to put you up a banner. I'm gonna type it up while you talk.
You can find me at another
CarlWinslow.com, aka James Farmer Jr.
So you can find me at Another Level Up on Instagram, Agent Shinlo on Twitch, and Agent Shinlo.
You give him a banner because he don't know what he got to say.
On Facebook.
Yeah. You don't ever do that again either.
Don't ever do that.
No doubt. Well, it's your boy Willie Styles. You can get at me at Willie Styles everywhere.
Ooh,
Willie Styles on IG, Twitter, and TikTok. You can get at me at Willie.Styles on Snapchat. I don't really do anything over there, but I will follow you and I will stalk all your posts. And
my fear is better than yours.
On Twitch. Or visit me at stylesradio.com or williestyles.info. I do plan to do a Gaming with Styles not tomorrow, on Wednesday. I do plan to do a Styles Radio takeover on Thursday. So make sure y'all get at me on Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday is definitely going to be at 10 p.m. Wednesday, it always depends. Either 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 9:30, somewhere in there. You'll just catch me.
Where's my music at?
Like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell over on YouTube. Make sure because I'm always going to be on the GFT radio show platform when I do my shows. So definitely get at me and, let's do this.
Missing my music, man. Where you at?
I'm going to be here Thursday, so make sure you check me out. Check me out.
I'm busy that night. My bad.
I might pop in if my little stalker is asleep.
I told you
I might pop in too. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, for sure.
I'm off that night.
We might have a fam here popping in and out on the Styles Radio Takeover. So make sure y'all come back Thursday night, 10 p.m. So get at me.
If I come on there, we talking about Black folk remedies.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
I'm with that. We got our own over here in Detroit, so we definitely we
Burners.
We got our shit that you're supposed to have, and you like when you get sick, these are our go-to items. If you don't got it, you ain't black.
Exactly. Yes, I'm with that. All right.
Hey, Will, you will ship Clint some burners.
I know, right? Exactly.
Now all Clint need is a Canada Dry.
That
you can't get no off-brand. You gotta get Canada Dry.
It's weak.
We're gonna talk about that.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that on Thursday. All right, y'all. Smooth.
Bye.
What do you want to say?
See y'all in 7 days.
Holla.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.